It turns out that Shanks and Scopper Gaban actually helped Loki kill King Harald. The spoilers for One Piece chapter 1168 are now out, and the chapter is titled Elbaf Snow. According to the initial information, it is confirmed that Ida died on a snowy day. Because of this, Harald and Harudin cried, while Loki silently suffered. Take note, Loki was imprisoned during this time. The chapter title is connected to Ida's death, which likely occurred during the Winter Solstice, a detail mentioned back in chapter 866, the Winter Solstice in Elbaf. The Winter Solstice is a festival celebrated yearly by the giants. It honors the death and rebirth of the sun. From their perspective, the sun dies during winter and is reborn afterward when it melts the snow. This death and rebirth theme fits perfectly with the current events. 63 years ago, during another Winter Solstice, two prominent Elbaf figures also died, Jorel and Mother Carmel, both killed by Big Mom. And, as always, if there is death, there is also rebirth. The one reborn that year was Prince Loki, who underwent his coming-of-age ritual. It seems something similar happened 14 years ago. Ida died, and as we learned in chapter 1152, King Harald also died during this period. The remaining question is, who represents the rebirth this time, Shanks and the deep-sea contract? According to spoilers, 14 years ago, Shanks was supposed to receive a deep-sea contract. But he never appeared. Instead, the world government gave his contract to Harald, officially promoting Harald to a holy knight. One possible reason Shanks did not show up is that he had already gathered the information he needed in Mary Geos. Another likely reason is, after becoming a holy knight, Harald was reportedly granted immortality and additional powers by the world government. Do not forget that Harald was considered equal in strength to Xebec. And since Xebec required the combined power of Roger and Garp to be defeated, it is unbelievable that Loki could defeat Harald alone. This strongly suggests that both Shanks and Scopper Gaban helped Loki fight Harald. I will explain this further later. Emu's orders and Harald's defiance. Another major reveal is that Emu ordered Harald to create an abyss circle in Elbaf and to build a giant army for the world government. At the end of chapter 1168, we supposedly see Loki and Harald arriving at Harald's castle, which perfectly matches the opening scene of Loki's flashback in chapter 1152. It seems Harald refused Emu's order to create a giant army. Evidence for this comes from Emu's statement in chapter 1151, where Emu says that if Harald had not blundered during a critical hour, Elbaf would already be under Emu's control. This strongly implies that Harald did not obey the command 14 years ago. Because Harald refused, Emu most likely ordered his death. The mysterious person with Loki. Now comes the big question: who was the mysterious person in Loki's location when Harald died? This individual supposedly witnessed the legendary Elbaf devil fruit. It is suspected that this was Saint Summers and another holy knight. Why? In chapter 1140, when Summers and Gillingham arrived in Elbaf, Gillingham was shocked by how massive everything was. Yet Summers showed no surprise at all, as if he had already been there. Additionally, in chapter 1148, when Scopper Gaban attacked Summers, they clearly recognized each other. At first, we assumed they met at God Valley, but the flashback later confirmed they never directly encountered each other there. This means the only time they could have met was during the incident 14 years ago, when Harald transformed into a demon. Why Gaban knows everything. In chapter 1152, when Harudin and Luffy were arguing about whether to free Loki, Scopper Gaban suddenly said they should release him. This indicates that Gaban knows the truth about what happened 14 years ago. He knows that Loki killed his own father, but he also understands that Loki had no choice, because, just like Xebec, Harald had transformed into a demon.